Hello and welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at some differential strikers or attackers as it were. Now what does that mean? That means that players who are less than 3% owned in the game by all FPL managers, and if they do well, it'll really send you flying up them leaderboards. Now the attackers one was a lot harder to do than the defenders and midfielders. Even sort of the poorer attackers were quite highly owned, but I've done my best to kind of pick players who are low owned but are still pickable. You know, I'm not just gone for, Patrick Bamford, say, is one where he's just, he's less than 3% owned, but for me, he's kind of unpickable at the moment, especially with Rodrigo coming in for Leeds. It'd be interesting to see how many people put him in their teams. But anyway, if you are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get straight into the video. So the first player we're looking at is Neil Maupay. Definitely want to consider. Obviously, he doesn't have the greatest of fixtures to start with. 1 through 4, you probably maybe want to stay clear from him. But after that, he has a very good run of fixtures. Scored 10 and assisted 3 last season. So, he's their focal point at Brighton. We can expect to see him playing probably a bit more game time. He went through, I think, a bit of an injury spree last season, and so probably didn't get as many games as he would have hoped. We also have Aaron Connolly as well, potentially as well, one to look at. He's a whole mil cheaper, however, Neil Maupay was the main one, getting goals, scoring goals against the likes of Arsenal, and just generally being a very, very clinical finisher. I think at some point during the season, I'll bring him into the team when the fixtures turn, sort of around game week 5, they start to look a bit better. Definitely one to consider. If you've got, I think this season for me, I'm definitely going to have at least one striker around kind of the 6 mil mark, so he's definitely one that you could look at to bring in, who will really provide a good differential. And for me, it's just a player who is a very solid scorer, like the likes of Chris Wood. They'll get you kind of 10 goals a season. So if you stick him in for a 5-game kind of period, then you can probably expect maybe 2, maybe 3 goals, which is all I'd really be hoping for a 6.5 mil striker in that sort of period of time. That would be wonderful. So the next player I'm looking at is Che Adams, less than 3% old, around the kind of 2% mark. Obviously, everyone is going for his sort of main counterpart, his main striking partner, Danny Ings, when you don't really know, when the likes of Obafemi and Shane Long are both at Southampton as well, how much game time Che Adams is going to get. However, after the restart, he was getting plenty of game time, and he also got one of the highest goals per minute played in the league after the lockdown and after football resumed. So we definitely want to consider, especially if you're looking to get into that Southampton attack but don't quite have the extra 2.5 million to bring in Danny Ings. Che Adams definitely want to consider, along with a little combination with Armstrong in the midfield as well. He definitely could be very prolific this season, could just be his breakthrough season, and if it is, you'll definitely want to own him because Southampton do have some good fixtures as well. On to the next player now, we have Nketiah. Now Nketiah very much relies on if he starts. He did start in the Community Shield, which is promising. However, whether that is actually the team that Arteta will start with, we don't know, especially with the likelihood that Willian will play, that Pepe will play. Pepe was just taking a break. Saka's been on fire, and Aubameyang's there as well. So if he plays Aubameyang or wants to stick with Aubameyang out on the left-hand side, then Nketiah very, very well could get through the middle with the likelihood that Lacazette is going to leave in this transfer window. Nketiah really is the only out-and-out striker that Arsenal do have. Obviously, Aubameyang can very easily fill in that role, but if they want to keep Aubameyang out on the left, then Nketiah is your man. Coming in at 6 mil, I'd maybe like it if he was a little bit cheaper, maybe around the 5.5 mil mark, especially if you don't know whether he is going to play. So definitely one to look out for. But if you do think he is going to play, those first 2 fixtures for Arsenal look absolutely wonderful, and he could easily pick up plenty of goals there. Now moving into our last 2 options, we have the 2 West Brom, and obviously Charlie Austin still in that Southampton kit because the Premier League haven't updated his image just yet. We have the 2 West Brom guys, Charlie Austin and Robson Kanu. Both of them who've had previous Premier League experience. Especially I like the look of Charlie Austin because whenever he does play in the Premier League, he's very clinical, he's a very good finisher, and you can expect to get goals from him as well. Robson Kanu obviously has been in the Premier League as well before and is a very, very solid player. Now, with the West Brom, we're obviously mainly looking at Pereira in the midfield as well for 6 million. However, he's kind of an assist machine, and if he's getting the assist, who's going to be on the end of it? It's going to be one of these 2 guys for sure. If West Brom have got any chance of staying up, they're going to look to either of these two guys to pick up those very important goals, because West Brom are the kind of team, they'll nick a game 1-0, defend it all out, and then Charlie Austin or Robson Kanu will come and pick up a goal. I also expect one of these guys to be on penalties as well. Charlie Austin, if he plays, I expect will be on penalties. I'm not really sure if he was last season, so if someone in the comments can maybe let me know about that. But yeah, these two guys for West Brom. From about game week 4, West Brom have very, very tidy fixtures. I'd sort of hold out in the first 3 game weeks and see how they look, how they play, whether either of these two guys are playing, how they're linking up with Pereira, the main man there, and just generally if they look like they're going to score. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this quick little differential attackers video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.